We got more polls we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, right now. And I'm just going to say this. You know what? The polls are tight. One day you get something like Atlas Intel. This came out just this week, looking at the 20th through the 25th. And we see he's up in Michigan. He's up in Pennsylvania. He's up in Wisconsin. He's up in Arizona. He's up in Georgia. North Carolina's kind of tight. They get some problems going on in North Carolina. Harris, nowhere to be found. Of course, we're going to talk about that. Nevada seemingly up. And then I see another poll the next day saying something entirely the opposite. So I'm just going to tell you this. I don't really trust the polls. I think this looks like a more possible scenario than some of the other things we're saying. But the reality is Kamala's not resonating. In other words, she has the entire media establishment on her side. She's got everything theoretically working for her. So why isn't she doing better? Especially given that people don't even want to tell the pollsters that they're voting for Trump. Part of it has to do with this. She's alienated half the population in this country.
But it's men. I mean, I think the real struggle for the Harris campaign is young men, older men, men of color, white men.
Yeah. And maybe even women that identify as men. I'm going to go out on a limb. Right? Like, people don't like her. Right? They really, really don't like her. So anyone who identifies as a man, I guess, just doesn't. And then a few of us gals, too, because I'm not impressed. I mean, I look at her and I'm actually quite nervous about where our economy would be. Really, really nervous about where our economy would be if Kamala Harris were to come in and take charge. I would hope that things would swing back. But I played the sound for you yesterday, did I not, of John Kerry basically saying he wants to get rid of the First Amendment because it's kind of in the way. I've played for you over and over again, both on Friday and yesterday, Hillary Clinton saying something kind of similar, that she wants to use criminal charges to go after people that are pushing a narrative that she sees as disinformation, misinformation. Does that mean we get to go after her because she pushed a whole lot of disinformation and misinformation herself, right? Courtesy of her campaign and her law firm that hired Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS to put a whole bunch of garbage on the marketplace. I'm telling you, this is bad. And you consider what happened to Letitia James, and they're suing Donald Trump, trying to take $500 million. They want to go and take his Trump Tower and go, take the golf courses, this, that, and the other. Why? Because he's not on their side. And so it starts to get a little concerning. It's like this election really could be the be-all, end-all. I'm not being over dramatic here. It really could be. You got a woman who doesn't understand economics, who believes entirely in diversity, equity, and inclusion as the solution for everything, who wants to redistribute wealth. And if you get in her way, gosh darn it, she's going to do whatever she can to clamp down on you and your First Amendment, which is why I struggle when I look at these polls. I look at these polls and I don't entirely know how to interpret them. One of the reasons I keep checking Polymarket, another one of our great sponsors here on the program, I check Polymarket just to see where we are there, because people actually have money on the line. This is a prediction market. And in my estimation, it's probably the best prediction market out there. And I said this even before they partnered with the Trish Regan show. And I said this because I like the technology that they're using. It's crypto technology, blockchain technology, Ethereum, where the trades are getting settled that way. You can't actually trade this in the US or in any restricted markets where they don't allow prediction markets, but it's traded all over the world. It's open 24/7. So you can go and check it at any time. And it kind of is a little bit of a gut check. So even if you see a poll where he's way ahead or she's way ahead, I think that this kind of helps to ground everybody in a little bit of market reality, because prediction markets involve people that are actually putting real money to work. So you don't have the bias, you don't have the media spin, you just have some data. And even here, it's very, very tight. It's razor thin. So I guess that leaves us back at the starting place where we're just saying, okay, what's really going on here? I think, one, you have people not telling the pollsters what they really, really think, especially if they like Trump. And two, you don't see the enthusiasm for Kamala Harris that you should at this point in the race if she's actually going to win this thing. I'm not seeing it. When I look at all the information available to us, for example, on absentee ballots that are being requested, I see that those are way down in the state of Illinois, which we know is going blue, but still, thank you very much. Illinois, 990,000 ballots requested this time versus 3.6 million in 2020, or 1.6 million, 1.8 million in 2016 and 2018. You don't have the enthusiasm there. You don't have the enthusiasm in the state of Virginia. You don't have the enthusiasm, frankly, anywhere for Kamala Harris. Now, why is that? I think it's just going to get worse.